Hi everyone, welcome to today's webinar. Please stay tuned for some time while we wait for everyone to join in. The webinar will start at 12 o'clock. Message कर रहा है please.
Hi, my name is Shafiq Mohammed, and I am the co-partner of Albek Restaurant. We are into this business from past 21 years, and we have around 18 outlets running successfully all over Bangalore. We basically serve Indian, Chinese, continental, and Arabic dishes, which are more popular nowadays. And being a foodie by ourselves, we believe in great quality and quantity. We switched to Petpooja a year ago. Since it's a very user-friendly app, it is a very simple and secure way to track online and offline orders. The software is well designed to improve and organize the online orders automatically, such as Swiggy, Zomato, and Amazon. Since it does not require any complicated or specific device, it can be used on both regular PCs or tablets. Petpooja also provides 24/7 customer service support, which makes sure any technical glitches are avoided. We usually get around 300 online orders per day in each of our outlets, along with dining orders. And with Petpooja, I can easily manage from anywhere.
Hi, I am Avinash. Being a senior accountant of Albek, I am handling back-end operations of all our 18 outlets. Petpooja helps me to reconcile all online and offline orders of all our 18 outlets. And thanks to Petpooja, I always survive at perfect numbers.
ಹಾಯ್, ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ರಿಜಿಶಾನ್. ನಾನು ಅಲ್ಬೇಗ್ ರೆಸ್ಟೋರೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನನ್ಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇನು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಆದ್ರೆ ಪೆಟ್ ಪೂಜಾ 1 hour ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಂಡೆ. ಇವಾಗ ನನಗೆ ಪೆಟ್ ಪೂಜಾ ಕಣ್ಮುಚ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾನು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ.
Basically, Petpooja is a 360-degree restaurant management software solution. Hence, I surely recommend this technology-friendly application to everyone. Petpooja is the best.
Hi everyone. Good afternoon, and I hope everyone is doing very well. Please give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Of course, we are going to wait for everyone because the webinar starts at 12 o'clock. But before we start, you know the drill. Please introduce yourself in the chat box. Who you are, which kind of restaurant do you own, what's your restaurant name, and which city you come from. I love knowing my audience, and please do put yourself and put your information on the chat box. Hello everyone. I love it. Everyone has started already being very active on the chat box. We have people from Jamshedpur, Hyderabad, Bombay, Karnataka. While we wait for everyone, please do put in everything. Hello everyone. I love it. If you have left out, please to add your information there. Our entire webinar is going to be very active on the chat box. We love talking to everyone. Also, meanwhile, let me also launch one poll for everyone. I hope our speakers are also here. If you guys can give us a thumbs up, I will, of course, put you on the spotlight very soon. Hi, Sumit. Hi, Devashish. Hi, Brajesh. Thank you for such a sweet introduction, everyone. I hope everyone can see the polls. Hello, I love it. I can see a lot of our previous audience also here from before, like previous webinars. Love talking to every one of you. Can you see the polls? Not able to see the polls? 1 minute. Okay, some are able to see. Superb. Thank you for submitting the poll. We are just waiting for 1 more minute because a lot of people are joining in. Yes, I'm sorry, no audio because I was just coordinating with my team over here. Okay, then with this, because today's webinar is going to be extremely conversation heavy. I'll give 2 minutes more for filling the poll if everyone's done. Zeel, everyone's done. How many polls have we gotten? Perfect. Thank you so much. We are going to stop the polls with this. No audio. Can you hear me? Yes, super. Hi everyone, welcome to the Foodpreneur webinar series. We run free webinars with a panel of experts every week to help restaurant owners like you to solve every query, problems, and grow. So thank you so much for coming today. Today's webinar is something very exciting. A lot of people have requested that to us and me personally, that what is this topic? It's going around everywhere in the news, in the newspapers, but what is it? So now we have curated the most requested webinar till date, which is of course none other than ONDC. Yes, we have curated a panel of experts to understand the entire flow onboarding process with the platform. So without wasting any time, I would love to introduce you to our amazing panel members. Let me put a spotlight on each and every one of you. If I can do that, I would really. And if you guys can also unmute, that would be great. Our first panel member is none other than Marichi Mathur, who's the F&B head of ONDC. I am
Hello.
going to try to make Marichi and add a spotlight. So I hope you can see Marichi. Hi, Marichi. Welcome to the webinar.
Thanks, Shivani. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Absolutely, we can. Our
Great.
second panel member is Shaival Desai, the Chief Growth Officer at Petpooja. Hi, Shaival.
Hi everyone. Hey, hi Johnny.
Our third panelist is Jatin Bala, who is a VP of Revenue at Petpooja. Hi, Jatin.
Hi Shivani. Hi everyone.
And our fourth panelist and our moderator is none other than Kabir Chopra. I'm sure he needs no introduction. He was there with us last week and he's been very kind to be with us every month on month. Hi, Kabir. Kabir, I can't see you. Hi, Kabir. You need to unmute yourself.
Sorry about that, guys. Sorry. Hi, good morning, guys.
I want to give a big thank you to all the panelists who have come on board today to answer each and every query that everyone has in the restaurant industry. I mean, what is ONDC? Now we really need some answers. And thank you for taking out time and answering everything. So without wasting any time, because this is going to be one long ass webinar which is going to be loaded with questions. So I hope all the panelists are ready. And I hope all the audience members are ready to fire their questions because you're not going to get this opportunity again anytime soon. So without wasting any time, Kabir, I hand over the moderation to you. Just before you start, I want to explain the flow of the webinar for all the members who are new to this foodpreneur community. The flow of the webinar is always the speakers get a chance where the moderators have questions for the speakers or your questions for the speakers. Then there's a small presentation on onboarding process. And in the end, after the 30-minute presentation, talk, and webinar, the entire round is open for Q&A. But if you have questions, put it on the chat box. My team and I are continuously monitoring it and taking up your questions. So don't worry. We will answer each and every question for you. With this, we will start today's webinar. Kabir, the floor is all yours.
Thank you very much, Shivani. Hi, Marichi. Hi, Jatan. Hi, Shaival. Good morning to you guys.
Hi. Morning, Kabir. Hey.
Hello. So, first of all, thank you everyone for joining us, especially everyone in the chat box. Like always, we'll keep the chat box really interesting, and we're gonna make sure that we wrap. I always say that let's try and keep everything absolutely minimal. But I'm telling you guys before, today is not going to be minimal. It is not going to be a condensed webinar. We're not going to have people. We're not going to be like, oh, let's keep it short, because let's face it, it'll be about maybe. I'm hoping we can crunch it in about 90 odd minutes. But you want today to be detailed. You want today's webinar to be long. You want to suck the time of Marichi, Jatan, and Shevar, and you want them to give you guys as much information, because let's all face it, we're all waiting for this ONDC to completely break through our profit and loss statements and show us that green line. That's all. We're all thinking it. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. So and I'm going to try and keep myself to be as nice as possible and not throw these controversial questions and be like कि Zomato कब हमें charge कर पैसे देने वाला है, Zomato की band कौन बजाने वाला है. We're going to try and keep all those questions away and try to first just understand exactly when I was having this conversation with Shivani yesterday also to understand कि ONDC है क्या आप लोगों को like do people even or do you guys even understand? Actually, do we even completely understand what this exactly is? So in the chat box, quickly, yes or no's. Do you understand what ONDC is? No. Yeah, exactly. Great. Little bit. So mostly no's, right? People who are yeses, great, fantastic. Hopefully we can clear it up a little bit more for you. Without wasting any more time, we will straight get into it. Marichi is here from ONDC. Hopefully he's going to help us clear this confusion in our heads. Hi Marichi, how are you doing today?
Hi, Kabir. Thanks. I'm doing really well. Quite excited about interacting with this large panel of audience on the.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So before we even start, I want to ask you: is this the first time that you are speaking about ONDC, maybe on a webinar or publicly?
No, we've been doing this a lot. So the job of ONDC and us as a team at ONDC is to essentially evangelize and tell people about what ONDC is all about, because it's such a new concept. It takes a little bit about wrapping your head around it. It's different to what everyone is used to. And the big mistake which everyone tries to do is try to fit the pieces of ONDC into what is existing and see how does this work. So you have to kind of a little bit unlearn what you're doing so far and kind of relearn the whole thing. So we have had, we've been kind of going across the country. Various leaders from ONDC have been going and speaking at various events. We've done F&B events. So yeah, we are very excited about this today.
Fantastic. So matlab, this is not a, so can I, in a yes or no, this is not an old piece? Is ONDC a completely new jigsaw?
I think a lot of people still don't know about ONDC. A lot of it also sectorally, sometimes people think, okay, there's ONDC, but does it impact me for my sector, for my business? So I think the short answer to that is that anything which can be digitally bought and sold, whether it's a product or service, will eventually be on ONDC, and then you can kind of expand it and think about whatever you can possibly think which can be digitally bought and sold.
Lovely, love that. So with that, the first question is, Marichi, what is ONDC? For a baby, if I am, let's say, a college grad student, 16, 17-year-old, what is ONDC and how did this even start?
Sure. So ONDC is a government-backed Section 8 not-for-profit organization. So we are a private sector entity. We are a private entity and we run the business ourselves and we run the operations ourselves, but with government oversights. It's a bit like how NPCI kind of runs UPI, with government oversight. Government felt that, for all their digital projects, they needed, a private entity who would kind of help grow that vision and also become the incubator for technology, because there'll be a lot of technology pieces and plugs which need to be built in to kind of grow it from a larger vision perspective. So that's what it is. Our vision is very clear. Our mandate is very clear at ONDC. Our mandate is to grow the digital pie in the country. Currently, less than 6 to 7% of commerce is digital commerce. And it is very metro and tier 1 centric. There's a whole vast set of buyers and sellers who have either not discovered digital commerce or need to be digitized. And our mandate is to kind of grow and kind of reach that entire base. So expanding to the next tier of towns to bring the undigitized onto the digitized world, trying to provide a level playing field for everyone to kind of experience digital commerce.
ठीक है सर आप हिंदी से comfortable हो?
मैं हिंदी से comfortable हूँ.
ठीक है, थोड़ा सा हिंदी में ही बात करेंगे because a lot of people over here understand Hindi as well.
हाँ जी.
तो ठीक है, तो basically ONDC, तो अगर if I have to put it in one statement, ONDC एक जगह है जो इंडिया के डिजिटल इंडिया को और प्रमोट करेगा, जो भी इंटरनेट पे कुछ खरीदता है या फिर कुछ बेचता है
बिल्कुल
उसको मोटिवेट करेगा, और उसके लिए एक इकोसिस्टम और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बना रहा है जहां पे आप पैसे कमा सकते हो।
सो इसमें ऐसा है कि हाँ, ओएनडीसी का मैंडेट और मोटे बड़ा क्लियर है कि डिजिटल कॉमर्स को इंडिया में बढ़ाना है, छोटे से छोटे शहरों में ले जाना है। जो लोग डिजिटल कॉमर्स पे नहीं है, चाहे वो खरीदार हो या विक्रेता हो, उनको लाना, उनको एक्सपीरियंस देना, उनको एक लेवल प्लेइंग फील्ड देना, ताकि उनको ये ना लगे कि हम छोटे प्लेयर हैं बट हम डिस्कवर नहीं हो पाएंगे। वो सारी चीजें इसेंशियली ओएनडीसी फिक्स कर रही है एंड ट्राई कर रही है कि हम लोग ऐसा एक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बनाए, क्योंकि हम प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं है। आप कहीं भी जाके इंटरनेट पे ओएनडीसी ऐप नहीं डाउनलोड कर सकते। ओएनडीसी सिर्फ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बना रही है जिसके ऊपर दूसरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस आके उस नेटवर्क पे कनेक्ट होंगी, एंड वो एक बार नेटवर्क पे कनेक्ट होंगी कि एक दूसरे के साथ डिजिटल कॉमर्स के ट्रांजैक्शंस कर पाएंगे।
Brilliant. So, okay, a lot of people said, please speak in English. Good, shift back to English, guys. Sorry. But this is very important to point over here. There is no app for ONDC. So, which basically means you can't go to the App Store and download the ONDC app.
Correct.
ONDC is typically a set of protocols. It is for the lack of, to make it simpler for you guys to understand, it's like a technology on which other people can adopt to use and build further platforms. So, for example, like we all know where you can find ONDC right now. Marichi, in quick things, what platforms can I find ONDC? You don't have to name all of them, just 2 or 3.
So currently we have 10 buyer applications which are already live on the network. So if a person wants to buy from the ONDC ecosystem of sellers, they have to they can use any of those buyer applications. Some of the ones which I can rattle out, at least from a food specific perspective, would be Paytm, would be PinCode, which is the new e-commerce phone pay app. You have Magic Pin, you have My Store, and there are a couple of other entities which are there. So more information, there's a lot of information which is there on our ondc.org website. We transparently publish all our network partners who are already on board, who will be onboarding, which role they are playing. So, anyone who wants to find out more about ONDC Pay, who all are there, they can easily go to ondc.org and kind of have a look at it. There's a lot of information over there.
There you go, guys. ondc.org. I put in the chat box as well. Note that down. I'm sure a lot of updates can come from there. So ondc.org is a place where a lot of questions can be answered. Great, Marichi. So you said that it is a private organization, but with oversight of the government. So, boss, ye paise dale kisne? Who owns ONDC? Who operates ONDC? And is it a non-profit organization? Kya ho raha hai yahan pe?
So ONDC has institutional investors who've invested into the larger vision of taking digital commerce to the next level in the country. As digital commerce grows, overall economy grows, and these institutional investors, the set of private and public sector enterprises, again, you can read about them on our ONDC website. Their whole intent is digital commerce has to grow. It has to go to the next tier of town, and hence they've invested. So we don't have any mandate of returning profits to shareholders. Our role is very clear, is to grow, evangelize, and spread ONDC across not just the country, but eventually across the world, because the way the protocols are set is they are not India specific alone. They are made in India, but meant for the world.
Noted. That's lovely. Okay, cool. So, which basically, guys, I hope, are you guys understanding till point? I know I see a lot of questions in the chat. Don't worry. We've preempted all these, questions, and all these questions are going to get answered. Okay, with you have these lovely panelists. There's Marichi, there's Sheval, there's Jyotar. All of them, things like Petpooja. How is Petpooja going to be involved in it? What payments? What ads? How do I get listed? Everything will be answered. That's why I said it's going to be a little bit of a long session today, but it will be worth it. Just imagine having all this information before everyone else in your community. I'm also a restaurateur like you guys. So imagine if you had this information before anyone else did from such valid and verified sources. So stay in, hold your horses. Every question will be answered. And at the end of the complete webinar, we are doing a small Q&A. So and like you know, Shivani and her team is constantly noting down your questions. So just hang in there, guys. Okay, so I mean, the one word which everyone has been technically been using is like I was in a conversation with someone yesterday, and they said ONDC is to digital commerce what UPI is to payments. So that is one thing which I'm hearing everywhere. Every article, every news article has ONDC and UPI almost in the same paragraph. So can you help me understand, are these news houses or these publications and people correct to make this comparison? And if yes, what are the similarities? How are these two the same?
So you're right, Kabir. So the parallels are there because the mandate and charter both are not-for-profit organizations which are government-backed, and they've been set up as special bodies to kind of grow the vision, the digital commerce vision. So UPI was essentially to allow people to transact, and in a simple way, you can send your money from your bank to any other bank, right? Similarly, on ONDC, once you're connected to the ONDC network, just like in UPI, it doesn't matter which app you're using. So I may choose a particular app because I like the interface. You may like a different app, but that doesn't matter. I can still send you money because of the open protocols which are there. Another parallel for this could be email. We all use email, and you have SMT protocol, which essentially means that open protocol is created in a way that it doesn't matter which Gmail ID you're using. You could use a public ID, you could use a corporate ID. You can send information, you can receive information to anyone. So how that is facilitated is by the open protocol, which is the SMT protocol. So think about ONDC in a very crude way, like equivalent to what an SMTP protocol is. And what it is allowing is that it is creating a network where once an entity does an integration with our open APIs and integrates with the network, that's it. Then you don't have to go do one-on-one integration with every single partner who comes live on the network. Integration is a one-time integration with the network. And once you do it, essentially anyone who's already there or anyone new who comes, you can start transacting with them.
Got it. Chat box, समझ गया मैं. कई लोगों ने बोला हिंदी. 2 मिनट में मैं आपके लिए कंडेंस कर रहा हूँ बात. ठीक है ना? हमारी चीज ये कह रहे हैं कि किसी ने अभी क्वेश्चन बोला कि इज ओएनडीसी मतलब ओएनडीसी और जोमैटो में क्या अंतर है. द कोर डिफरेंस इज जस्ट पॉइंटेड आउट ओवर हियर वेयर यू नो वेयर ही सेड कि आप सब यूपीआई यूज करते हो. मैं यूपीआई पेटीएम पे यूज करता हूँ. शैवल शायद से पेटपूजा सॉरी गूगल पे यूज करता है. यू नो समवन एल्स प्रोबब्ली यूजेस इट ऑन फोन पे. यूपीआई अलग अलग जगहों पर इस्तेमाल हो सकता है, लेकिन यूपीआई जो टेक्नोलॉजी है वो किसी ने क्रिएट करी है. आई एम सॉरी, मेरे को वो उस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का नाम नहीं याद जो भी हमारे जी कह रहे थे, बट दैट हैज बीन डेवलप्ड बाय द गवर्नमेंट. तो गवर्नमेंट ने एक ऐसा टेक्नोलॉजी बनाया है जिसके ऊपर और प्राइवेट कंपनीज ने यूपीआई बनाया. अब गूगल पे में यूपीआई मिलता है, मिल पे कभी कभी 5 रुपए का कैशबैक मिलता है. पेटीएम पे कभी कभी मेरे को टिकट्स पे 100 रुपए का कैशबैक मिलता है. अब हर प्लेटफॉर्म को अपनी तरीके से एक यूपीआई का वर्जन बनाने का मौका मिला और हर पर्सन को अपनी अपनी तरीके से अपनी ऐप चूज करने का मौका मिला. सो ONDC will do something like that. ONDC will give a platform, एक ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म देगा जहां पर दूसरे प्राइवेट कंपनीज आकर उस प्लेटफॉर्म पे एक यूनानिमस एक फेयर प्ले का प्लेटफॉर्म बना सके जो हेल्प करेगा. अब ये कैसे होगा, कहां होगा, समझ रहेंगे. We will understand all these things. Give it some time. Even I am not a tech person. All these words that he just said, SMTP, HTTP, I don't understand it. Okay, even I am trying to understand it. So let's give it a couple of seconds. But yes, this is what you can for अभी तक आपको अगर आपको एक समझने की अगर आप कुछ समझना चाहते हो ONDC की क्या है, then the main understanding is that it is like a technology in a technology on which, like how a technology was built on which UPI could be built. Now this is a technology on which digital commerce, इंटरनेट पे खरीदारी और बेचने के ट्रांजैक्शंस हो सकते हैं. आगे चलें, ठीक है. Someone says Zomato is profit oriented, ONDC is not for profit, growth oriented. Is that right? Just a quick question because I saw it. Zomato is profit oriented, ONDC is not for profit but growth oriented.
So, Kabir, what I would like to state is first up is that ONDC is an inclusive platform. It is not a discriminatory platform. It is for the largest to the smallest player. Everyone is welcome to join it. Everyone will find benefits of joining the platform. As we speak, we are talking to literally everyone in the country, whether it's large players, small players, everyone is talking, everyone's trying to figure out how it fits into their strategy. But we eventually feel everyone will join in. So one thing I want to be very clear is that, despite the hyperbola sometime around, it's not a killer or anything. It is more to be seen as an enabler. It is an equal enabler for large organizations to leverage the network where multiple organizations are offering their services. And you don't have to build everything yourself. So what it does is it becomes complementary. You can use services of other complementary organizations and help stitch together your entire value chain. So it is there for everyone and it is not anti anyone. So that is something which has to be be very clear. We would be very happy for Zomato, Swiggy to also join. We are having active conversations with everyone. So it is not an anti anything.
Did you guys hear this? ONDC will be very happy to have Zomato and Swiggy on the platform. So, okay, honestly, to be honest to God, मेरे को भी एक नहीं समझ में आया कि ये कैसे होगा. So, Manishi, if I can, if it's okay, can I maybe ask this? So, अगर if I am Zomato and I want to be on ONDC, तो क्या मतलब मैं अपने सारे restaurants आप में डाल सकता हूँ? क्या वो अलग से एक I don't know. आप explain अगर कर सको.
So, simple way, Kabir, if you think about broad constructs of digital commerce, you have a buyer application who essentially does the demand generation side, right? You have buyers, someone who needs to bring buyers so that people can buy. Someone needs to do supply aggregation, bring restaurants, bring suppliers, and hence enable the catalogs and make sure that there is inventory for those customers who come to buy. Third is fulfillment. Once an order comes in, the order needs to be delivered. So if you think about these three as three broad buckets, now normally what happens is these all three activities happen within a platform black box currently, the way digital commerce is structured. Now what you have to look at it is that imagine you can debundle these three activities and an organization can decide that one area or two area or all three areas, depending on their core competence, are their strength and focus areas. And there are certain areas which are not their focus area. They can plug in those focus areas onto the ONDC network and let other network participants who are focused in building the other areas to do that. So for example, if you are very good at supply side, you have a great assortment of restaurants, you have a lot of merchants on board, but you don't have a delivery network set up. You don't have the buyer network, the demand generation engine set up. All you do is plug into the ONDC network with your supply network. And that supply network, once it's plugged in, will become visible to all the demand generating engines and organizations who plug into the ONDC network. So every single entity, so like I said, there are 10 buyer applications and counting. All those 10 buyer applications, if they do a food search, will be able to discover the entire ecosystem of food sellers on the network, irrespective of how the seller is come. Seller can come through aggregating apps, sellers can come directly onto the network. It doesn't matter and it doesn't impact their search. So that is kind of in a nutshell what this is all about.
Got it. Okay, now I'm a little bit charged up. So basically, it's like a level playing field for all. So matlab, okay, guys, between me and the restaurateurs in this platform, what you are thinking, I am thinking the same thing. इसका मतलब ये है कि शायद से इतना competition अगर level playing field हो जाएगा तो शायद से हमारी commissions कम हो जाएंगी. Maybe we'll be able to fire up and maybe get a green in our profit and loss statements. Maybe we don't know, but along with this conversation, if we stay through the conversation and we keep on understanding what this exactly is, like you, even I'm trying to understand. These are actual questions that I'm posing to him, and so let's see how this conversation proceeds. Someone just recently asked, how do I enlist myself? It is all there. How will Petpooja help? It is all there in the webinar. Hold your horses. It will take some time. Let's do this slowly so that we all completely understand. So, Marichi, okay, cool. I understand till now ki kya ho raha hai yahan pe. So, who are exactly the major stakeholders? What all different buckets, like you were just explaining, ki kaun si ye buckets are? You said there are buyer apps, there are seller apps, and logistics, right?
Correct. And
Right.
also there is a fourth leg, which is technology. So there can be technology service providers who can help, like, for example, what Petpooja is in a way doing, and what I think Sheval and Jatin will kind of explain. You have technology service providers who become enablers for the network to grow. They can provide enablement on merchants, how merchants can go live. They can provide services. And then I'm just calling up something out of the hat. And we don't even know what are the kind of innovations and services which will come on board. We may not even thought about it, and those innovations will come. Someone can come back and say, hey, I have a great service where I can offer cataloging as a service, because a lot of merchants are struggling with cataloging, and I can offer cataloging, I can offer imaging as a service, etc., and so on and so forth. So there are technology service providers who will build services, who will build enablement for the network to grow, so that the buyer applications, seller applications, and logistic applications can offer their core services, which is demand generation, supply aggregation, and fulfillment on the network.
तो बेसिकली मतलब जिसको जो काम आता है और करना चाहता है वो ही करे.
Absolutely.
Wow.
वो दूसरा करने की जरूरत नहीं है. You don't have to burn money behind tasks and activities which are not your core forte, which you end up spending a lot more money, and only focus and join with your core area, and which is where the network will drive efficiency and profitability. Because if all organizations plug in their core focus areas, right, the entire cost of operations come down dramatically, and that's how the entire value chain will get impacted.
Fantastic. Okay, I'm just going to quickly take a thing from the chat box. A lot of people are asking how do we enroll? For the past 1 year, I have always told you guys, I always told people that I only promote companies which I truly believe in. And if you have believed me and signed in with Petpooja, believe me, you are going to be very happy at the end of this webinar if you are very excited about ONDC. I'm not saying anything else. I'm not going to take the Sheval should probably will help you through that. But if you have Petpooja, you're interested in ONDC, you're probably in a very good place. Yes. So, Manichi, cool. Got it. This is what it is. It's an open level playing field. Lot of things happening here. We're still trying to understand exactly what this is. You guys are not backed by the government, promoted by the government. You're here to help this ecosystem grow. You're here to help digital commerce become stronger, and if I may say, profitable.
Correct.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ultimately, everyone has to make money because it's business, right? And we understand that. And if everyone can profitably make money, then everyone in the value chain is happy. And that's how, digital commerce will grow, and it will grow to the next tier of towns. Because if we can make that a profitable venture, I think that's where everyone wins.
Great.
And that's the other note, which is there, is that it's a everyone win network, and not one entity or one organization or one angle winning. Everyone in the network wins, and that's how the network grows and network wins.
Okay, got it. So between me and my restaurateurs, you guys know that it has been tough. It has been a little bit tough to make money in this space. ONDC is very welcome to come here and maybe level the playing field, help everyone to do कि यार तुम्हें customer acquire or deliver or cataloging or menu or delivery or selling सब कुछ नहीं करना है. अलग जिसको जो आता है वो करो. जिसको लगता है तुम जहां पैसे बना सकते हो तुम सिर्फ वो करो. पेटपूजा कहता है मेरे को कैटलॉगिंग बहुत बढ़िया आती है. मेरे जो ये कस्टमर सेंटर में लड़का लड़कियां बैठे हैं ना, वो इतने बढ़िया करते हैं. 24 घंटे के अंदर रिवर्ट्स आते हैं जो एक्चुअली में आते हैं. तो मैं सिर्फ वो करना चाहता हूँ. So Petpooja, please go ahead and do that. Zomato कहता है मैं सिर्फ aggregate करूंगा, तो वो Zomato सिर्फ कर सकता है. Dunzo कहता है मैं सिर्फ deliver करूंगा. They all can just do that, and that sounds like a fantastic thing. So honestly, I don't want to take a lot of time. Sorry, I get talking too much. I just want one more question. अभी कहाँ हो sir? What is happening right now? Current traction क्या है? कौन onboarded है और कौन onboard होने वाला है? What can we, you sitting in this office, and if I ask, so after you answer these questions, my last question to you is, what is the vision? Where is the sweet spot for ONDC that, wow, we did what we came to do?
Okay. So a little bit of where we are. I think last couple of months we've gained a lot of traction. Right now, we have more than 35,000 merchants across 6 categories who are already live on the ONDC network. Food alone has 30,000 plus merchants on the network.
कहाँ ये सब कहाँ हो रहा है? Sorry, but ये कहाँ हो रहा है ये सब कुछ?
Sub network पे है. So if you, and if you're sitting in a Delhi, Bangalore, or there are 288 cities.
Sorry, sir. Your voice is cutting a little bit. Is that just me, or his voice is cutting a little bit? Cheval? It is, right?
Yeah.
Is it mine? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
That's fine.
Is it better now?
No, it's actually not. Maybe just we take a quick 10-15 seconds. I'm sure it'll
Maybe if I switch off my camera, is the voice better now?
Yeah, the voice is fine.
yes.
It might
Yes.
be a little bit of the bandwidth issue, so I'm so sorry about that.
No
Yeah.
problem.
So we have more than 30,000 merchants who are onboarded. We have presence for F&B alone in 100 plus cities. We have merchants who are on F&B. We are alpha live in almost 200 plus cities in the country. So
Sir, alpha live का क्या मतलब है, please?
मैं explain कर रहा हूँ. Alpha live is where हमने merchants onboard किए हैं, and we are doing testing in a closed user group because there are not enough merchants. We are also making sure that the entire supply chain is working, logistics is there. You know, we are working on the operational efficiency. There are 2 cities which are beta live. Beta live means they are fully live, which is Bangalore and Meerut. Bangalore went live in September last year. Meerut went live in Jan this year. These are absolutely live. Having said that, Alpha Live City means that even if you're sitting in an Ahmedabad or in a Delhi or in a Mangalore or in a Hubli or anywhere in this country, and if there is an ONDC enabled merchant who's available in your city, that ONDC enabled merchant can be discovered through our buyer applications.
Okay, sir. So that is where we are at. And what is like the last question was, so what is a good place for you? Where would you be like, wow, I did what I came here to do?
So I think the good place of us for sweet spot for us is when every single seller is on board the network. When all sellers who are undigitized are able to digitize and come onto the network in the easiest possible manner. It should become as easy as, you know, activating a SIM card or opening a WhatsApp or opening a social media account. I think that's when we feel that, you know, we've built out the necessary technology pieces, etc., to help really scale this up. And I think that's where the sweet spot is. And that's what we are all working towards.
Sir, मैं दिल्ली से हूँ, तो मैं तो यही पूछूंगा, दिल्ली कब?
दिल्ली अगर आप बैंगलोर आप अपने buyer apps खोलेंगे, you will be able to see there are more than 7,000 merchants which are live in Delhi, so you will be able to see and buy from those merchants in Delhi.
Mumbai, sir?
Mumbai, there are more than 3,000 merchants which are live, and now with Petpooja's help, I think we will be able to double it in a very short time.
Sir, Kolkata?
Kolkata, we have close to 1,500 to 2,000 merchants. Plus, again, with Petpooja going live, we should hopefully get more merchants on board.
Are you guys listening to this? So, this was a question even I had, because today morning I wanted to check it out. So, मैं Paytm पे गया और मैंने ONDC type किया और मेरे को actually मैं आ गया. So, I was going to actually ask Sheval before I got onto this call. I was like, ये क्या हो रहा है? मतलब, how is ONDC live in Delhi? So I'm guessing in somewhere there, are you still testing, or this is the alpha version, or what, or It is the complete version. What is happening? Can I while you talk to Cheval in a bit, can I order for some food and have it delivered to me?
Yeah, absolutely. You can. You can place an order.
Okay, guys, I'm actually going to do this. So I'm actually going to pass on the mic to Cheval while I'm actually going to go and pay on Paytm and place an order in ONDC. I'll come back with an update. Cheval, please take it from my end. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Marichi.
Yeah. Cheval,
I
just
hope you-
one question
yeah.
I thought I would like to address, and I'm seeing a lot of it in the chat box, and people are asking Nagpur or this city or that city. What I want to address is that the current availability on ONDC is basically defined by the supplier base. So if we have supply in a particular city of sellers who are already live, then that city you can go and buy on the ONDC on the ONDC network. So a lot of these cities which are not yet live, we are enabling merchants, and the whole idea of outreach and to reach out to large platforms like Petpooja is to get to the next set of cities, get merchants on board the network, and allow them to start enjoying the goodness of the network. Cheval, over to you.
Hi, thanks, Mariji. Thanks a lot. So I know ONDC is an onion, and you showed us that the onion exists and it is growing larger by the day, right? What I'm going to do is peel the first layer. And guys, I've seen a lot of questions around how do we sign up, what it is. Jatan is actually going to run you through it, but just bear with me for 5-7 minutes, right? I just want to dig a little deeper dig a little deeper, not into exactly how do you sign up, but just a slight step before that. Shivani, if you can share the presentation. Yeah. Okay, so just a little bit of background, right? So food delivery in India today is massive, right? Why do I say this? So I've seen a lot of other economies with similar per capita incomes. They don't even have food delivery. Other countries which have probably 4 or 5 times the GDP per capita of India are nowhere close to us in the kind of food delivery ecosystem that exists there, right? The current credit where credit is due, the current duopoly has done a fantastic job in increasing the market. Actually, not just increasing it, creating the market for online food delivery in India, right? Having said that, while the system works today, it might not necessarily work for everyone, right? ONDC as it stands today is a chance to hard reset the system, right? We are actually resetting it, unbundling the system. Buyers can be found by different players, sellers can be found by different players, and logistics could be served by different players, right? So it's an entirely hard reset on the system. What we know today, right, is that there are 2 costs which are in addition to the food costs that restaurants have, which is the customer acquisition cost and the logistics cost, right? And someone, whoever that person might be in the network, someone needs to bear these costs, right? So while we can get into specifics, right, the commercial model is evolving as things stand today, right? I would love to, give you clearer answers as to what, how much everyone is charging. The fact of the matter is it is really evolving and things will stabilize, right? But at the same time, please be sure that the unbundling that ONDC has done is massively increasing competition, right? Which is good for everyone, right? Increased competition, like Marichi said, will allow specialized players to focus on exactly what they are good at. If someone is amazing at logistics, if someone comes up with a drone tech tomorrow that can deliver, they might only be doing logistics, right? So if someone is really good at creating user interfaces, they might not even create the entire buyer app. They might give that UI to other buyer apps, right? The model is really extremely flexible in the way that the protocols have been built. So kudos to that, right? Having said this, a note of caution, right? NPCI which created UPI, right? And the parallel is amazing. I will just put a note of caution there that payments was an easier solve than commerce, right? Because commerce requires delivery, requires physical delivery of goods, right? And as soon as physical delivery comes, there could be a number of disputes, issues that could come up, right? So while UPI is a great first step, and I think that should be the shining the North Star that we look to in how well the penetration has occurred, how smooth the process is, how people have adopted it. We should also be cognizant that this is actually 2 steps ahead of UPI in terms of the complexity of the system. Right? Okay. So Shwani, if you can move the slide. Okay. So what are the benefits of ONDC going to be like, right? So ONDC, first of all, is going to give ownership of customer data to you, right? So as a merchant, I think you get all the numbers for people who come dine in with you, but for orders coming through aggregators in most of the cases, you don't get the customer data, right? I think this is going to change with ONDC, where essentially the buyer app is just acting as an interface where buyers order from. The customer is also going to be owned by you, right?
Shailesh, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. All our audience is saying the voice is a little unclear. Can you come a little closer to the mic and be a little louder?
Just a second.
Great. Yeah,
is this better?
Guys, just give a thumbs up if this is much better to all of you.
Okay.
Please continue. So sorry.
So ownership of the customer data is going back to the restaurants, right? Using this data, you can do all the kinds of marketing campaigns that you want to run, be it automated, be it, sending them offers, whatever. Essentially, you have a touch point with the customer and the customer is yours, then essentially, right? So I think this will give a significant fillip to brands who actually want to make use of that data and ensure repeats, ensure loyalty of their customers, right? The second benefit of ONDC, as things stand today, the commission rates on ONDC today are lower, right? Again, things are evolving. I cannot guarantee it will stay this way. No one can, right? As things stand today, it is given give or take from 8 to 12% is what it is today. Again, I will put this asterisk multiple times. Things might change, right? With commissions as they stand today are far lower than on aggregators. The third thing is that you will actually get a massive freedom to choose because the unbundling of services has happened, because logistics players are different, buyer apps are different, and seller aggregators are different. It actually creates competition for the existing duopoly, and it's an alternative, right? See, the duopolies today, the aggregators today are large, and like I said, credit where credit is due. I think they've created a massive market. What ONDC is going to do is give you alternatives to this, right? Perfect. Shwani, if you can go to the next slide. Okay. So I also want to talk about the behavior. How should a merchant behave on ONDC, right? So first of all, if commissions continue to stay this way, right? We believe that merchants can actually afford to keep prices that are similar to dine-in on ONDC platforms, right? This because see today when commissions are high, I understand a lot of merchants are forced to change prices on aggregators. But once if commissions are lower, there is a possibility of keeping them at par with dine-in prices because again you don't have to bear the cost of service, the cost of cutlery, all those things, right? You're essentially a customer is not going to pay for an experience, right? So you can actually keep similar prices dine-in even with the commissions involved, right? Please treat it at par with the current existing aggregators. Jatan will take you through the flow of how easy it is going to be to keep them on par. But from your understanding, if you do that, that is how this platform will get a fillip, right? The third thing is please understand Rome wasn't built in a day, right? Which means that ONDC will take some time to ramp up. I think it is happening much faster than we all expect. It might not, but it also might take more time, right? So I will request that people have some patience as to, यार 2 दिन एक ऑर्डर नहीं आया उसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं चल रहा है उसका मतलब है कि 2 दिन ऑर्डर नहीं आया उसका ये भी मतलब नहीं है कि महीने बाद 10 ऑर्डर नहीं आ सकते दिन के राइट बट एज थिंग्स स्टैंड टुडे प्लीज हैव सम काइंड ऑफ पेशेंस राइट and most importantly, right, with this unbundling you get ownership of customer data, you might get lower commissions, right? But please understand that ONDC is your platform. It is created to democratize commerce, right? How you behave on it is going to determine the success or failure. Today, the power is in your hands. If merchants behave well and as expected on the platform, if they give the same kind of service that they're giving on aggregators or to the dine-in customers, this platform will succeed. If merchants do not, then the platform will. So I request that, it is really the power is in your hands, whether you want to see this platform succeed or not, right? Over to Jatan to take it from here.
Sure. Thanks, Eval.
Sorry, Jatan, before we move, can I just give a quick update?
Please.
So guys, I placed my order. I was serious about this. Maybe I probably shouldn't show my screen. I placed an order with McDonald's, okay, which is close by to my house. I live in GK2 in Delhi. I placed my order on McDonald's. My order has been accepted. 12:43, my order was placed. Okay, I have live updates. I don't know if you guys can see. Yeah, I have live updates which says my order was received, accepted. My order has also been packed, and my rider has also been assigned. I can also call the rider. I can also track my order. My price, I will compare prices. Yeah, I knew it. I'm comparing.
This is coming.
It is lower. It is lower. I'm pretty surprised. It is at this point of time 14% lower. I did the math. I've called for a Mick Aloo value meal from McDonald's. ONDC पे मेरे को पड़ रहा है 185 रुपीस का, और वो जो बाकी जगह है वहां पर पड़ रहा है लगभग, मैंने स्क्रीनशॉट लिया अभी, लगभग 215 से 220 रुपए का. तो it is cheap. It is cheaper. That's all I want to say to you guys. Let's see when this comes in. Kabir, who's delivering your food? So it says powered by Magic Pin, but I don't think the delivery is powered by Magic Pin. The page says this page was powered by Magic Pin, and I show us. अच्छा, सब कुछ दिखा दूँ मैं आपको. So, but it is powered by Magic Pin, and I paid on Paytm. You go to Paytm, scoop, type search, type ONDC food. Over to you, Jatan. Sorry for interrupting. Once the order comes in, we can chat again.
Sure. No issue, Kabir. Thank you so much. Hi everyone. So I was just going through the chat also, even there are so many questions like how you can sign up with the ONDC, or how Petpooja's role will be there actually, and what Petpooja is exactly doing in the ONDC, right? So the further discussion will be around that only. So don't worry, we will try to cover up all the possible aspects actually, all the questions actually which you asked in the chat. So हम लोग try करेंगे सारे questions का answer you get actually before closing this entire webinar. Shivani, can you jump on the next slide?
Yes, before I do that, the same request, Jatin. You'll have to be a little louder for our audience.
Sure. Will do.
Great. And over to you again.
Yep. Yes. So this is the basic chart actually, which show you the main stakeholders actually which are added in the ONDC framework. Basically, there are mainly three entities. एक तो buyer app हो गया, another will be a seller app, and third one will be the logistic app. So buyer app, seller app, logistic app, which Marichi already take us through, what exactly the buyer app is doing and what exactly the seller app doing, and the logistic partners like ShadowFX, Dunzo, and Loadshare are there. Other partners are also available, like Porter is also there. So what exactly they are doing, which Marichi has already conveyed. So in buyer app, we have a Paytm, we have a PhonePe, who are mainly focusing on the food ordering part. Whereas in a seller app, there are three other aggregators are available, which is like UEngage, Growth Falcon, Bitsila, and other more actually seller apps are also there actually. But we have covered right now three seller apps over here actually, just to present actually, and just to give you an example. So as you can see, there are three entities: buyer app, seller app, and logistics. Now the question arises ki there are multiple seller apps. So does restaurant needs to go to all the seller apps and needs to sign up with them, or how exactly it will work, right? So in that, Petpooja comes into picture. So you don't need to go to multiple aggregators, multiple seller apps. If you are a customer of Petpooja, if you are using a Petpooja, then you just need to go to Petpooja marketplace on billing.petpooja.com. Shivani, can you jump on the next slide? I guess we have covered the steps also. So yes. So as a restaurant owner, you just need to go to your billing.petpooja.com owner admin dashboard. There is a marketplace already there. On the left-hand side panel, we have Petpooja aggregation.
So in Petpooja aggregation, we will ask you a basic KYC detail like FSI license, GST certification, point of contact person detail, and kind of things. Once you are done with the basic KYC detail, filled up with the basic KYC details, on the next step, you will able to choose the seller app with whom you want to sign up. So you can simply choose the seller app. It may be possible commission rate may vary from one seller app to another seller app. So for example, like in my earlier slide, there were three aggregators like Bitsila was there, UEngage was there, Growth Falcon was there. So it may be possible like UEngage is charging X percentage commission, whereas Growth Falcon is charging Y% of commission. So it's up to you. It's up to restaurant owners. Like they can able to choose to which with whom actually you exactly want to sign up. So we are giving you the freedom. You can just select the aggregator. You can select the seller app with whom you want to sign up. Once you do the sign up, once you completed with the sign up, on the next step, we will pass on your details with the seller app. So seller app will again the companies which you had signed up, like either it will be a Growth Falcon or the UEngage, right? So and then actually they will just check the feasibility. Like for example, if your restaurant into Chennai, right, and you are signing up for the service, then they will just going to check like whether the feasibility is available, rider network is available, supply side is available or not, and then they will enable your service. Basically, mota moti, like it will take around 5 to 7 working days to enable your restaurant into ONDC platform. And pause then the order flow. How the order flow will work. Shivani, can you jump on the next slide? Yes. So the order flow, actually, this is the flow for the order. Actually, basically, your restaurant will get listed on the buyer, right? Even though you are signing up with any of the seller, like you are signing up with the UEngage, but your restaurant will get listed on the either PhonePe or the Paytm. So end customer is going on the PhonePe or the Paytm, and then they are placing the order. Is just Kabir like shared his experience, right? So he just placed an order from the Paytm app. So Paytm is a buyer app. So simply end customer is going on the buyer app. He is placing an order. After placing an order, the entire order will get landed on the Petpooja post. You are accepting the order, so it will work same as a Swiggy Zomato integration. So once you are accepting the order, we will pass on that entire structure, entire notifications to the Paytm application. So order acceptance, food ready, delivered, dispatch, everything will get notified on the Paytm application. So end customer will get able to track each and every transactional steps in the Paytm application. So, and the final payment settlement will also happen on the Paytm app. So customer is paying on the Paytm app, right? So now you had a question like, what about your payment and how the what will be the Petpooja's role over here, right? Then, as I told you, like as a first step, you don't need to go to each and every seller app. You just need to talk to Petpooja representative. He will able to help you to sign up with all the Petpooja, all the seller apps, right? On the next step, now you had another question, कि यार मेरे payment का क्या है? So there will be a multiple partners involved, right? So you know, like आपको question आएगा like, do I need to connect with the Growth Falcon? Do I need to connect with the UEngage to my payment for my payments of each and every orders? No. So over there also, like Petpooja will come into picture. So final settlement of your payments that will be done by Petpooja. So Petpooja will be liable for your all the payment disputes. So we will be there as a single point of contact person for all your signups as well as all your payment kind of disputes or in a payment kind of like settlement kind of issues. So we will do the final settlement along with the proper reconciliation, like कौन से order के against में कितना payment आया and how much amount you are going to get into your account, right? So that kind of settlement report and settlement engine actually we have built. So end-to-end reconciliation and onboarding process will be done by Petpooja. So as a Petpooja, we are not directly participating into ONDC, but yes, we will be your single point of contact person for onboarding, order processing, as well as your payment partners. So payment and everything will be managed by Petpooja. So don't worry, like your payment will be there actually, because there are so many questions in the chat box also, like Thrive and other aggregators at .pay are not trustworthy or you can't trust, right? So over here actually for you, Petpooja is there. We will be there actually, and we will do the final settlement of your payment into your account along with the reconciliation function. Shivani, can you jump on the next one? Yes. Now the responsibility, right? So as I told you, like buyer app responsibility. So buyer app responsibility is mainly for the order escalation. So as a customer, I am placing an order on the Paytm. I am placing an order on the PIN code, which is powered by PhonePe, right? So the responsibility of the buyer app will be whatever the customer escalation is happening, like मेरा order नहीं पहुंचा है, my payment I had paid but my order is not accepted, or anything is there, right? So buyer app for the first kind of escalation will be managed by buyer app. Then buyer app will pass on all the escalation to the seller app. Seller app will connect with the restaurant and he will just check, right? So seller app का responsibility वो रहेगा, like whatever the escalation is coming from the buyer app, that will be entitled, that will be entertained by the seller app. Seller app will connect with the restaurant, and then they will solve all kind of such kind of order escalations which is coming from the buyer app. Petpooja's responsibility, as I told you, like mainly we will help you to onboard in any of the seller app. We will able to connect you with the seller app. Documentation and everything will be managed by Petpooja, and your payment part will be managed by Petpooja. So these are the responsibility which are defined actually in this entire framework. Yes. So, yes, Shivani, can you take it up?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jatin, for everyone who has been asking so many questions. Don't worry, we have taken down all the questions. To end this, and before Shaival takes his last bit, everyone who has been asking for what is ONDC's presence, don't worry, it is going to be present in all the cities possible. Right now, we are also sharing a link of the form where you can directly sign up your restaurant. So if the city is not active, Petpooja has taken it up to help you sign up with ONDC, the seller apps directly. So you can just fill in this form. So your details are there and with your city name, so we can help you integrate with as many people as you want. Shaival, I hope you're here right now. If you can give a closing statement for this, and we can directly jump onto the Q&A.
Sure. Okay. So first of all, thank you everyone. Thank you to all the panelists for explaining the entire flow, right? Like I said, I mean, see, please have patience. This platform is dependent on your participation on the network, right? And today, as things stand, the system is evolving, but as things stand today, commissions are lower, delivery presence is getting better. Petpooja, along with the seller apps, will manage most of the things at your end. So there is no harm in signing up as things stand today. So I request people to go ahead, sign up so that we can increase the number of merchants on the platform. Once the merchants increase, then buyer apps will be interested. It's a virtuous cycle. So please understand that, it is always going to be a virtuous cycle. Someone has to take a leap. Request you all to take that leap. There is no harm in it as things stand today. And that will actually catalyze the ecosystem, right? So thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, first of all, to each and every one of you and the panelists. Of course, Q&A 2 seconds में चालू होने वाला है. Don't worry, because इतने सारे questions आ चुके हैं. कबीर, status क्या order का? पहले ये बताओ.
मैं वही बोल रहा था. How is anyone not curious? How are
Everyone has been. They are asking in the chat.
Okay. So what happened is I placed the order at 12:41. Sorry, यहाँ पे सही 12:41 पे order place किया. मैंने basically, this is what happens on the Paytm. Sorry, here you go. So in the end it says order accepted, order packed. Then it says rider assigned. उसके बाद आता है call the rider या फिर track the order. अब track order पे अगर click करो, then it goes to this thing which is by Shadowfax. You see that thing, Shadowfax on the top. This is what comes in. Okay, this like a thing over here, like कि क्या हो रहा है. यहाँ पे time लिखा हुआ है और live tracking. I didn't know live tracking was going to happen. मैंने किसी को बोल रहा था कि boss, I am too used to live tracking. मुझे देखना है मेरा खाना exactly कहाँ पहुँचा है. अगर live tracking नहीं है ONDC पे, मैं नहीं मंगवा रहा. मुझे जानना है. वो चला गया दिन कि if you remember back in the days, मम्मी पापा खाना मंगवाते थे and they used to be like, हाँ 50 मिनट में आ रहा है, शायद से 50 मिनट में पता चलता है कि रेस्टोरेंट से निकला ही नहीं है. So okay, this time started with 50. Okay, and then I said 50 minutes. I sent a screenshot to Shaival. I said, shit यार 50 मिनट दिखा रहा है, ये तो बहुत ज्यादा है, बेइज्जती हो जाएगी. It went down to 28. It went down to 16. Now it says, look at the time. 1 minute. It has been less than 20 minutes. 12:41 we placed the order. It is 1-1 right now. It has been exactly 20 minutes. Please go ahead with the questions. I'm going to see if The food
I
comes.
just have one comment, and I would like the audience to also understand the dynamics here. So, unlike in a platform ecosystem where a lot of the rider base is also with the platform, right? Here, it's a transaction which has happened between three entities.
It is.
Paytm is the buyer application, Magic Pin is the seller application. And in this case, logistics, there are two kinds of logistics where people can use on-network logistics services, or if they already have their backend tie-ups, they will use their backend logistic tie-ups. So Magic Pin is used this backend logistic tie-up with Shadowfax, and that's how the food is getting delivered. So I just wanted people to know that there are three separate entities involved in this debundled or unbundled transaction.
It is amazing. Honestly, this is amazing how the information has traveled so seamlessly between so many data centers. Honestly, I'm very shocked. And this
And
is
I think genuinely that is kudos to the kind of so I was just talking to someone here, the kind of protocols that ONDC has built.
sorry.
They really know.
It says 0 minutes. I'm going to go and check if this food is.
That's cool. No, but the kind of protocols that you guys have built, Marichi, are genuinely thought through, right? And the kind of involvement that you guys have had with the participants of the network to understand each of the use cases, right? You could have very well said, okay, these are generalized protocols for food, grocery, e-commerce, travel. Yes, okay, done, right? But no, I think you guys have gone far beyond that in trying to understand the requirements of each participant. And I think that is what is, really helping catalyze this.
I think what Shaval, if I can just get one comment, is my voice clear?
Yes, yes, Manish.
Yes.
Yes,
I
yes.
think the principle of democracy is everyone participates and everyone contributes, right? And I think that is true for
Correct.
the concept as well, where just unlike in a platform world, once you sign up with the platform does everything for you. In the ONDC concept, because it's unbundled, each of the entities has to be involved in their side of the transaction, and that's how the whole thing comes together.
Guys, I'm so sorry. I'm actually, just that people know that this is not fake. Wait. Just that you know this is not fake. There's the guy. Sir, आप कहाँ से हो? किसके साथ काम करते हैं? आप Shadowfax के साथ काम करते हैं? Shadowfax, here's the order. 22 minutes. Cannot believe it. Thank you, sir.
Crazy, Kabir. This is amazing.
Insane. I cannot believe this. Cheaper. And I messaged Sheval. I said, boss, Zomato पे तो 25 मिनट तक दिखा रहा है. ये अगर ये ONDC से नहीं डिलीवर हुआ तो बैंड बच जाएगी. पूरा वेबिनार खत्म हो जाएगा. 22 minutes. Food is here. Unbelievable. Great job, guys.
And hats off to the platform, honestly.
Hats off.
Like,
this is
how the three parties have communicated without any physical call. Right? वही content करने में यार is the most strenuous thing. मुझे कभी call करना पड़ता है ना आज के दिन में, तो मुझे बहुत ही it takes so much mental space of mind कि नहीं करना यार call मुझे, right? So I think
someone has written, could you please share the invoice? अरे देखो यार, ये लो यार, 12:45 देखो वहाँ लिखा है time, देखो.
Guys, ये जरा भी planned नहीं था. ये अगर नहीं होता तो हमारी सबकी बैंड बजती.
कहाँ से, मतलब honestly, what do you want me to share now? I literally took to the door. I'm in my shorts, yeah.
Can I please have, first of all, a very big applaud or a thumbs up or claps for the entire panel, Marichi, Kabir, Shaival, Jatan, everyone, because you guys have literally given the most clear answer and an example and everything that can possibly happen in a webinar. I have never seen a webinar like this. This is probably our, I don't know, 20th or 30th webinar. Not just problem, solution, benefits और answer सब एक जगह मिल चुका है. Now with this, I hope आप लोगों ने पानी पी लिया है. You guys are all ready, all charged, because now our army is going to ask you a lot of questions. Okay, with that, I'm going to start my first question. Of course, it's going to be, Kabir, this is not fair. अब अगर खाना मंगाया है तो सबके लिए आना चाहिए.
There is a reason I'm eating, because there is someone who put a very valid question, who said, is the food the same? Because it's a very valid thing.
Yes.
कुछ टाइम पहले तक ना हम ऐसे चीजें मतलब रेस्टोरेंट्स में बहुत ही ऐसी सब चीजें होती थी कि जहां पे सस्ता बिक रहा है वहां पे क्वालिटी कम होती थी. वही फ्राइज है, वही बर्गर है, वही पैकेजिंग है. Everything is the same, guys. This ONDC is,
Oh.
in my opinion, this is just a personal opinion. It is not Petpooja's or Sheval's or Marichi's, anyone's. I think this is pretty cool. ये काफी insane चीज है. अब ये क्या करने वाला है देखते हैं.
Amazing. So first question, whichever panel member wants to take it, please tell that I'm going to take it up and then you can continue. So they have a question, a very basic question. Can we register with multiple seller platforms with Petpooja? If yes, how do I go about it? Jatin, if you can actually give that clarity, because everyone is asking, एक के साथ जा सकते हैं या सबके साथ जा सकते हैं, what is the...
Yes, we'll take it up. Yes, so guys, like you can sign up with as many as seller app you want to. So from the Petpooja perspective, if I want to convey, then you just need to go to marketplace. Over there, we will give you the list of the seller apps which are available right now. You just need to choose. Like for example, there will be a Growth Falcon, there will be a U Engage, and there will be a Bitsilla, let's say. There will be a Magic Pin. So you will get a list of 5 seller NPs along with their terms and condition and the percentage commission which they are charging. You just need to enable. Just tick mark it and save changes. That's it. So once you are done with this, you will able to enable your restaurant with almost 5 to 6 seller apps. So there is no limit actually. You can sign up with as many as seller app you as possible.
So Jatin, can I get one comment on this one also?
Sure,
so, while from a technical perspective, everyone should understand you can connect with as many seller apps and it's completely up to your prerogative. But from a search perspective, when a search happens, it gives you no additional benefit to be with multiple seller applications. Okay. Because if someone like if Kabir searched burger and you are a burger chain and you're listed through 5 different seller apps, you will come just 5 times for that single search. So order एक ही आएगा. वो 5 search result के 5 orders नहीं है. It's a single order, right? So it's completely up to you whether you as an organization or a restaurant partner decide who you want to work with. That's completely your choice, how many people you want to work with. But I just wanted to highlight that there is no benefit because ultimately all the pipes are going into that one big network, right? So for every search, every seller on that network, their search results will come. So there is no additional benefit as such from a search perspective, searchability perspective.
So different seller NPs could have different strengths, right? Some has better off-network logistics. Some could have lower commission. There could be a case where someone bundles up logistics and seller apps again together, right? Say I'll charge 15%, but I will take on delivery owners, right? Charges also. So the permutations and combinations available are infinite, right? You will actually have a right to choose over there, right?
Absolutely. So our next question is,
शिवानी,
सब लोग बहुत कर रहे हैं क्वेश्चन. एक क्वेश्चन तो मुझे देना पड़ेगा क्योंकि कमीशन मेरे को एटलीस्ट 100 मैसेजेस आ चुके हैं. So everyone is very excited to get onboarded, of course, right now. Commissions are very nice, cheaper prices, everything. What is in the future? What if it gains a lot of traction, everything starts going up? What if the commissions increase? What is there? Can someone please answer our audience?
Shivani,
what is the commission structure?
Sorry. Can I want to try and be the voice of the restaurateur on this poll. I want to ask कि देखो कल क्या होने वाला है हमें नहीं फर्क पड़ता है. अभी कितने पैसे देने पड़ेंगे मेरे को. अगर मैं मैकडॉनल्ड्स होता जो अभी जो मैंने ऑर्डर मंगवाया, if I had placed this order as McDonald's, who do I have to pay and how do I have to pay and how much do I have to pay? Please, if anyone could help.
Shravan, do you want me to take that one initially?
Yes, please go ahead.
I'll take the first back at this. So, Kabir, your example, a network, a seller can have 2 ways in which they can connect to the ONDC network. Either they can come through a seller network partner, like what Sheval and Jatin have been talking about, or they can come directly onto the network also. All they have to do is have the tech capabilities to do the API integration. So ONDC is basically built on top of open APIs. So there is some amount of technical integration required and certain technical capability. If an organization either has it, or there are technology service providers also on the ONDC network who can help and facilitate that. So if you're a directly integrated seller, then there is no seller commission to be paid. Then essentially it is the buyer app, because the buyer app is doing demand generation, right? So a buyer application is allowed to charge a buyer finder fee at a transaction level. Okay, so buyer charges a buyer finder fee for finding you a customer, right? So that's a buyer finder fee. So you have a buyer finder fee, you have a seller commission in case you are going through an aggregating platform, and you have the logistic cost of it. These are the broad three components. Now, depending on which components you're using, so buyer finder fee is by default, because that is the order generation engine. Again, the way ONDC is set up is we are not a governing body, so we are not mandating what should be the margins which any of the entities want to charge. They can set their own margin. But what we see is that as multiple buyer applications come and multiple seller applications come onto the network, market forces will automatically force correction for commercials. So if someone is charging very high right now, they will be forced to correct. Otherwise, either they will lose out, because a commission which a buyer app is charging, which is a little higher than what a seller wants to pay, the seller doesn't have to respond back to that search query. So if an order comes, you don't have to respond back to that search on the buyer side. So again, so that's something which is in the hand of the seller. So all these mechanisms will help to auto correct the commissions on the network, and it will come to a level which is acceptable to the market. I hope I gave an answer and it wasn't too roundabout.
Sir, can I push you for a little bit more?
Sure.
Kitna, sir?
So देखिए, तो हमने डिफाइन ही नहीं किया है कभी. It's on the network.
आपके एक्सपीरियंस में कितना लग रहा है?
तो आज की डेट में I can tell you the buyer applications, the range of margin is anywhere from 0 to 5 right now. I cannot confirm. Tomorrow there could be a buyer application who says I want to. Absolutely. So a seller application is can define their commercial terms and agree that okay, I will put a cap कि मैं इससे ज़्यादा pay नहीं करूँगा. तो फिर उससे ज़्यादा any buyer application से order आएगा, you don't have to respond back.
चलो सर, एक अलग तरीके से पूछता हूँ. मेरा okay, the entire experience. मैं एक रेस्टोरेंट हूँ, मैं अपना लिस्ट करना चाहता हूँ, खाना बेचना चाहता हूँ और एक ऑर्डर बेचना चाहता हूँ. ये जो अभी मेरे को मैकडॉनल्ड्स से खाना आया, क्या इसका खर्चा मैकडॉनल्ड्स को 18% से नीचे होगा in your opinion?
So again, I will not go into absolute percentage discussions because network partners will determine that, right? अगर कोई सेलर नेटवर्क पार्टनर कहता है मुझे 10% सेलर कमीशन चाहिए और एक बायर ऐप कहता है मुझे 10% बायर ऐप कमीशन चाहिए, तो 20% हो गया, राइट? I am not there to define and determine it, but there could be another buyer application who can say I want only 2% or 3%, and there are applications, there are seller partners and buyer partners who are charging those kind of networks. So the aggregate pool, what we feel should be in single digits, is what we feel is ideally the right amount. Single digits plus logistic charges is what we see.
Sorry, Maniji, I will take that in. Kabir, you've paid less, right? Which means that the commission should be lower than that.
बस
Right.
मेरे को बस ये
I will take that one. Yes. It technically होना चाहिए था. If they are right now promote.
Restaurateurs in no, there are no facts here. Please remember, please don't hold any of these gentlemen on these things. As of now, it is looking like we might get some sort of platform to deliver our food to our customers at a lower cost. One more question, which was very important, but I think I'll let Shivani take that up. Shivani, जो बहुत customer data वाला question था, please वो पूछो ना.
Yes.
I saw a couple of comments. I just wanted to comment here. I mean, around this seller, because I read a comment that McDonald's has higher power. So you have to understand, when a seller is going to pay lower commissions, right? So there is more money in the seller's pocket. Ultimately, the way ONDC has been defined is the seller will decide what is the discount or promotion they want to run. Everything else in the ONDC pipeline is a flow through. So there's no one in the normal course, you pay a certain X amount and then the entities do those things, right? Here, all the entities involved are basically taking care of their cost and cost plus a little margin. So the flow through benefits will go directly to the seller, and the seller can determine if I'm saving 15% on this transaction, how much of that I want to plow back in terms of an offer to the customer, because that offer, like you got Kabir, is a direct seller funded offer.
हाँ मेरे को एक डिस्काउंट मिला है बॉस, टेस्टी 25.
So, एक चीज before we get into it, I also want to say one thing, right? See, the costs that primarily are involved are the ops costs in terms of coordination, the logistics costs, right? And the customer acquisition cost, the CAC. The CAC could be different for each of the buyer apps, right? Why today it is, and it might continue to stay this way, might not, right? But why today it is lower is also that some of the large payment apps already have a humongous customer base. So they are not paying an additional acquisition cost to acquire a customer. Actually, in fact, some of the payment apps have up to 2.5, 3 times the users of the aggregators, food aggregators today, which means that they don't need to pay that cost, which means they don't need to charge someone for it, right? Which is why you're seeing it lower today, especially with the larger payment apps. Again, please don't hold me to this here, but it could change, but that is why it is lower today.
Got it. Boss, data is very important. हम सबको जानना है कि हमारे कस्टमर का डेटा हमें मिलेगा कि नहीं मिलेगा.
Also, Kabir, adding on to that, safety of the data, because couple of them are asking, what is privacy? Where is privacy in this? Who all are getting this data? Because it's the applications involved as well. So can someone give us a flow?
Sure. So there are two parts to it. One is data is held by the entity. Okay. ONDC doesn't hold any data. We are like a fly, like a pipe. The data just flows through us. Seller will get a transaction level visibility on data. So for example, when Kabir placed an order on Paytm app, now Magic Pin app was the receiver of that order, and McDonald's has to kind of fulfill the order, and then there is Shadowfax who has to do delivery. Now Shadowfax needs to know that this is order from a person called Kabir Chugh, who lives in Delhi, this is his address, and this is his contact detail. So for every transaction, you will get a transaction level data, because without which you cannot fulfill the order, right? Beyond that, you have the seller app will not get access to Kabir Chugh's history, how many times Kabir has ordered, what is his background, apart from whatever the seller app is collecting at their level. So over a period of time, and if Kabir orders, say, burger every day, and it goes through the Magic Pin, and just this example, Magic Pin app, Magic Pin will start building some intelligence that, okay, Kabir is a regular buyer, but Magic Pin still will not know, has Kabir placed orders from, which are the other seller apps Kabir has placed order to, which are the other sellers Kabir has placed order to, what all Kabir is buying, beyond what Magic Pin is selling, right? So to that extent, each entity will have data visibility to their end or what they are servicing, but they will not have data visibility to everything. So it's not like all data, once you're connected, it's a flow through and everyone can see everyone's customers and everyone can see everyone's everything else. So that's around the data privacy. I hope that kind of answers it a bit.
So, no, but as a restaurant, will I get the name and number and location of my...
So आपके bill में था ना Kabir. Otherwise, how will the address get delivered? How will you get delivered, right? You will get that basic data that there is Kabir Chugh, this is his phone number, this is his address, this is where the food has to be delivered. Now, whether Kabir Chugh is a male or a female, what is his socioeconomic status, etc., that is on the buyer app. Those intelligence the buyer app will have. The seller app will not have, but seller app will get the transaction level data because they have to deliver the order.
Any sir. As a restaurant, did McDonald's receive my number and...
Okay, so the network partner who is on the network and who's interfacing with the buyer application got that data, okay? Now, which is in this case is Magic Pin. Now, Magic Pin can share that data with McDonald's. McDonald's can ask that data from Magic Pin. In case a seller is directly integrated onto the network, then they are anyways going to be able to capture this. So that is where it is. Sorry?
It is the discretion of Magic Pin whether they want to share it with McDonald's or not.
Of course. So the network partner decides. So a seller can always choose, if, say, for example, seller app A And that could be a reason for you choosing a seller app A versus seller app B, which is what Cheval and Jatin was saying.
Got it.
Seller app A is not sharing. I can share with someone. I'll go to someone who shares that data.
Got it, boss. So, guys, very important for us to understand. This is where I think you will totally understand why an ONDC is so beneficial. कल को we all want our customers data. मुझे McDonald's को कबीर का डेटा चाहिए कि कहाँ रहता है कबीर, क्या नंबर है इसका, ताकि कल को मैं कबीर को मैसेज लिख सकूं कि oh, you ordered this aloo tikki burger on this day. Do you want to order it again? Now, ONDC, like he just said, it depends. So maybe Magic Pin is taking is one vendor. Magic Pin कहता है मैं नहीं दूंगा, पता नहीं मुझे अगर देता है कि नहीं देता, कोई और कहता है कि मैं दे दूंगा. Now this is what ONDC gives us. It gives a level playing field. So now tomorrow someone can have the chance to offer more things or lesser things. Like I said to you, जैसे UPI में आप कौन सा UPI यूज करते हो ये डिपेंड करता है आप पे. मेरे को इंटरफेस पसंद है इसीलिए मैं पेटीएम यूज करता हूं, लेकिन शायद से शेवल को कैशबैक पसंद है इसलिए वो गूगल पे यूज करता है. तो हर बंदा, every platform will be able to provide their own benefit, because which is why ONDC is so beneficial to us, in my opinion today. Tomorrow it could change. Someone asked me a question. I'm sorry, someone sent me a direct question. Can I advertise on and if yes, who can I advertise with and how can I advertise?
Okay. So buyer applications are responsible for the buyer experience, right? So ultimately a person will want to advertise where the buyer is, right? So the buyer applications can run banners, they can run paid ads, as long as they clearly identify those in their searches that this is a paid search versus a non-paid search. What the network asks for is transparency. As long as the core principle, which is transparency, is fulfilled in the network, buyer applications can because they are ultimately responsible for generating orders, so they can do what they want.
Okay, so in one word, I forgot who asked me this. है you can advertise. तो इसका मतलब जैसे for example McDonald's को मैंने Paytm से order दिया, तो मैं Paytm का शायद से कोई बंदा मेरे पास आके कह सकता है कि हाँ सर एक काम करो, ब्रांड टाइल खरीद लो या 15,000 का एड चला लो तो मैं आपको विजिबिलिटी दूंगा. बट वो ट्रांसपेरेंसी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है ONDC के लिए कि क्या ये प्रमोटेड था कि ऑर्गेनिकली आया.
So कबीर इसमें इस तरह you have to think this way कि उसने एक अपनी property list की, right? And as long as that property is available to any seller, whoever is willing to pay for that property, they can take that, right? As long as it is open and it's inclusive and it is not closed that I will only go to only these people and that people. I think those are the broad principles at which we are working on. Obviously, a buyer app can define certain criteria. Again, criteria will be defined transparently on the network. So every seller who, for example, can't participate will know why they weren't able to participate, and they will have the opportunity to fix those pieces in order to be able to participate. Important is to know why, right? That is something which is at the core of ONDC.
Got it. Someone said, should I leave Zomato and join ONDC? Boss, please. It's your prerogative to do what you want. You're a businessman. Make your own decisions. Whether you want to leave Zomato, whether you want to leave the industry totally is your call. Please go follow me on Instagram and there I'll teach you all these things. By the way, quiz fast plugin KABIRCHUGH on Instagram.
I mean, let me send your Instagram thing also because we always do so many things together. Of course, you should follow it. About educating. So, Kabir, Jatin, Shaival, I think Jatin and Shaival will be the people who can answer this next question. A lot of them have been questioning and sending me questions on Petpooja's role in this entire process. And since a lot of them are Petpooja restaurant users over here, right? They have been asking me that once we have done the entire process, the order has been sent, Jan ko mil bhi gaya hai, sab kuch ho gaya, when do I get the money? If there are any cancellations, what happens at that time? What is the entire process? Can you please break it down for a restaurant owner who is using Petpooja?
Sure. So basically, if it is a happy scenario, right? Like customer is placing an order, getting it delivered, payment will get sub happy, right? So in that, actually, payment cycle may vary from one seller to another seller. So for example, if restaurant is signed up with Growth Falcon, right? So Growth Falcon disburse the money within a week, whereas you engage is disburse the money within 3 days. So payment cycle may vary from one seller to another seller. Based on that, actually, we will mention the terms and condition while signing up with the restaurant, like restaurant and seller actually. So that is already mentioned in the payment cycle. Sorry, that is already mentioned in the marketplace. So in that, actually, payment cycle may vary. Otherwise, the target is to disburse the amount within a week time. That is the target, right? Now coming back to another question, like what if the order get cancelled, right? So right now the terms and condition will be work same like Swiggy and Zomato, because the protocols are also defined in the ONDC agreement, similar to that. कि अगर मार्कफुट रेडी नहीं प्रेस किया है, then there is a 60% of the refund, और dispatch के बाद किया है, then there will be 100% refund kind of thing. So if order gets cancelled actually post dispatching the order, so just for an example, there will be 100% refund to the restaurant kind, right? So that kind of protocols are already defined in the agreement actually. But mota moti, there will be only a 4 kind of things: 60% refund, 40% refund, 20%, and 0 refund. So those protocols are also defined in the ONDC agreement.
Perfect. Thank you, Shaival, or anyone, if anyone has to add anything, or we can get on to the next question. And Kabir, also, I would love for you to have some more restaurant questions over here, because everyone is on how to register. So, Jatin, everyone is asking what are the documents needed? Is GST compulsory? Sure. If I'm a home
Sorry.
Can I place it?
Sorry, before we go on to the documents, because I feel like that is Jatin, the only reason I'm talking from that is because I feel like ये तो पता चल ही जाएगा हमें, documents देने से हमें कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, आप एक ले लो, सारे ले लो, बस कमीशन कम कर दो. एक बात बताइए, ये फीडबैक मैनेजमेंट,
ओके,
लेट्स से मुझे ये ऑर्डर नहीं पसंद आया,
ओके,
इसका क्या होने वाला है? ये मेरे को रिफंड मिलेगा, मैं रेस्टोरेंट को रिव्यू दे सकता हूँ, या फिर व्हाट इफ दिस ऑर्डर वाज, क्या मैंने, व्हाट इफ आई हैड कॉल्ड फॉर 2 burgers and I received only 1, what about what happens then?
So basically, Kabir, like in such kind of scenarios, right? So customer is placing an order from the buyer app. So let's say, for example, let's take an example of pin code. So customer ने pin code से order place किया, right? So first escalation will go to pin code. Then pin code application, those representative will be verifying all the entire scenario with the seller. So let's say there is a seller.
I'm sorry, लोगों के clarity के लिए मैंने ऑर्डर प्लेस किया मैजिक पिन के थ्रू, तो आप मैजिक पिन का नाम लेकर बोलिए प्लीज.
श्योर, ठीक है. सो लेट्स से अगर मैंने मैजिक पिन से ऑर्डर प्लेस किया, राइट? सो मैजिक पिन इज वर्किंग एज अ बोथ सेलर ऐप एज वेल एज बायर. सो वो तो हैप्पी सिनेरियो हो गया. अगर यहाँ पर अगर मैं मैजिक पिन से ऑर्डर प्लेस कर रहा हूँ, देन मैजिक पिन विल डायरेक्टली कनेक्ट विद द रेस्टोरेंट एंड दे विल गेटिंग इट रिजॉल्व्ड, सेम लाइक स्विगी एंड जोमैटो. व्हाट इफ कि अगर वहां पर 3 पार्टीज इन्वॉल्व है, राइट? एक हो गया मैजिक पिन, दूसरा हो गया पेटीएम. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल, लेट्स टेक योर एग्जांपल. आपने अगर पेटीएम से ऑर्डर प्लेस किया था मैकडोनाल्ड में, अगर आपका फ्रेंच फ्राइज नहीं आया, काफी लोग ने वो भी क्वेश्चन पूछा, फॉर एग्जांपल व्हाट इफ फ्रेंच फ्राइज नहीं आया, तो कस्टमर विल गो टू पेटीएम फर्स्ट, नॉट टू द मैजिक पिन. दे विल एस्केलेट देयर इश्यू टू द पेटीएम, then Paytm will connect with the magic pin, they will connect with the McDonald's and check the entire scenario, like what was exactly happening. But yes, Paytm has rights, they can refund the amount if they find कि भाई मुझे customer को like there should not be any kind of issue to the customer, so they have rights, they can refund the amount. If they are not getting a appropriate answer from the magic pin, they can refund the amount to the customer for the missing item.
Okay.
So Kabir, I'll kind of just further add to what Jatin is saying. So for a customer, the buyer app is the end all, right? आपको सारे अपने solution buyer app से मिलेंगे. अगर आपने Paytm से order किया, you'll raise the issue to
buyer app इस चक्कर में Paytm हुआ. मैंने Paytm से order किया, तो मैं अपनी सारी issues Paytm के through.
You don't have to, as Kabir Chuk doesn't have to go to Magic Pin or to McDonald's and chase that. That is not your job. You will raise the issue on Paytm app and that's it. And you will get your solution from Paytm app. वो अलग बात हो सकती है, you're not happy with the solution, which can happen anywhere, right? There are issue grievance management modules which will sit on the network, where buyer application, seller application, logistic partner, representative, nodal officers will come. They will try to sort those issues. And just like in a platform, in case you are not happy as a customer with your solution, the end is always arbitration, right? You go and file a court. But as a buyer, you only are bothered about your interface, which is where you got the order from khatam. You don't have to go anywhere else. You don't know what is the backend engine. Backend mein kya chal raha hai, you are not bothered.
Boss, guys, all the restaurateurs, we don't care. Honestly, we don't care. So like Maharaji said, we need to be bothered from one person. So like same way as a customer, I will be only bothered by Paytm. So whoever you are linked with, you will only be bothered through them. तो कल को अगर पेटीएम कहता है कि सर मैं तो नहीं देता कस्टमर डेटा, मैंने कहा ठीक है मत दे यार, तू फोन पे दे रहा है मेरे को, मैं फोन पे के पास जा रहा हूँ. This is what will help. You understand? Tomorrow, let's say, फोन पे says कि सर अगर आपने 3 मिनट में ऑर्डर एक्सेप्ट नहीं किया तो मैं आपको 20 रुपए चार्ज करूंगा. पेटीएम कहता है आप कभी भी एक्सेप्ट करो, मैं कुछ नहीं चार्ज करता हूँ. The power, not the power, to let this be a universal thing is what ONDC is giving us. कल को पेटीएम और फोन पे इक्वली फाइट करने लग जाएंगे. तो हम आप लोगों के लिए अब जोमैटो और स्विगी नहीं है. सिर्फ जोमैटो और स्विगी ने हमारे लिए क्या किया होता, दे हैड क्रिएटेड अ स्टैंडर्ड कि ऐसा होता है, ऐसा ही होगा. जो गलत या सही है मुझे नहीं पता, मेरा व्यू पॉइंट है. Now what ONDC gives us is a chance for, like Marichi said in the beginning, a lot of people, no matter where they come from, चाहे आप डिलीवरी ही सिर्फ करते हो, चाहे आप सिर्फ एग्रीगेट करते हो, चाहे आप सिर्फ कैटलॉग डलवाते हो, जो भी करते हो, आप you can log into the ONDC platform and facilitate buying and selling, which will add more competition, and well, more competition is better for us, right guys? Can we take more questions?
Kabir, with this, we have our last 4 questions.
Okay.
Because अगर ये बंद नहीं किया तो I'm sure हम शाम के 7 बजे तक we can keep doing this right now. And why don't you take up 2 questions from restaurant side? I want to take up 2 questions from Petpooja or the aggregator side.
Okay.
I think one was around self-delivery.
Yes.
That's interesting. Self-delivery.
Also, I'll tell the question. A lot of them were asking that what if we have registered and we have our own delivery partners, we just want to go there for visibility. So people can directly order from us where they're ordering for multiple people, or essentially there are multiple restaurants. What is the solution there? How does this function in that scenario?
So 2 parts. One, ONDC network is not an advertising site. So you can't just search and then place the order outside the network. Whatever ecosystem is building, the buyers or sellers are within the ONDC ecosystem. So they interact within the ONDC ecosystem, right? So that's absolutely critical. I did mention that there are 2 ways you can do logistics. You can use on-network logistics services, wherein in case you're a seller and you don't have either your own fleet or you don't have your backend logistic agreements. You can be an off-network logistics seller where you say, hey, I have my own fleet or I have my own network and I don't need to buy logistic. Everything is choice. It is not forced upon. You could even do a hybrid version where you can say, I want to have the option of using my fleet as well as on-network logistic, because I will use on-network logistic to fill in the gaps where I don't have logistic presence, or I might say that I may do it up to 3 kilometers, I may do it, and then for long distance, I may use a logistic partner. All those permutation combinations are possible.
Okay. Someone had given a very nice question. So, and Soumya said that as Zomato and Swiggy listing is based on reviews, and that's how customers mostly choose restaurants to order from, is there any way to put reviews? And from the restaurant point, how will they be ranked and who goes first? So I would like to first give my answer, and please tell me if have I understood it right, so I can also explain to people later onwards once this webinar is over. This, whether or not reviews are there or not, is a buyer app choice. So Paytm could choose to add reviews to my listing, yes or no. At the same time, who gets shown first is Paytm's choice. वो देखेगा कि भाई कैसे करना है. For example, we are at Zomato and Swiggy today. We are मतलब एक ranking system होता है और सिर्फ एक वो ही ranking system है. So I'm guessing because of so many other platforms being able to have their own ranking systems, this might be able to become a more open system.
So I will answer this in two parts. One is a question of whether there is a mechanism for review and rating. So there will be a mechanism for review and rating, and the review and rating will sit on the network.
Oh,
That means you're not platform dependent. So example, and which is what we've been saying, if we're working with a platform A and you're not happy with platform A, and you can easily move to platform B, your review and rating is tagged to you as a seller because there's a one-time central registry which you as a seller will get, or as a buyer, a seller, everyone gets a first time you get a central registry. All your reviews and rating will get tagged to that registry. So that mechanism, those APIs are being built. They're not ready, but that's in work in progress. So you will earn reputation on the network. That
Sir,
means you are not platform defined.
सर आप मेरे को बोल रहे हो कि थ्रू आउट दी मतलब मैं कल को फोन पे हूँ या मैजिक पिन पे हूँ या एबीसी पे हूँ, मेरी रेटिंग एक रहेगी.
सब जगह आपको वही रेटिंग दिखेगी. तो अगर बायर फोन पे से देखता है या पेटीएम से देखता है या 1001 एप्लीकेशन ऑन द बायर साइड देखता है, जब वो कबीर चौक रेस्टोरेंट सर्च करेगा तो इफ कबीर चौक रेस्टोरेंट हैज अ 4.5 रेटिंग ऑन द नेटवर्क, वो 4.5 रेटिंग सब जगह दिखेगी.
So sir, ये rating, dude, this is very interesting. So sir, ये rating
Kabir, right? And that rating is linked to the restaurant. It is not linked to the platform through which that restaurant is coming from.
Sir, तो इसका मतलब जो rating है, this rating is the mechanism of the rating. So for example sir, आज के जमाने में क्या होता है, Zomato और Swiggy में क्या होता है, अगर आप एक according to Zomato and Swiggy, अगर आप एक verified user हो जिसने बहुत बारी ऑर्डर दिया है और अच्छे और बुरे रिव्यूज दोनों दिया है, तो आपकी एक सॉर्ट ऑफ रेटिंग प्रोफाइल परसेंटेज है. मतलब एक क्या कहते हैं उसको, लाइक आप पे विश्वास करने की एक परसेंटेज है. ठीक है. और उस हिसाब से आपकी रेटिंग, आपके रिव्यू की वैल्यू डिसाइड होती है. अब ऐसे नहीं कि हर कोई बंदा आके कुछ भी, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल टुमारो एक आज नया बंदा आता है जोमेटो या स्विगी पे, ही पुट्स अ 1 स्टार, तो उसका 1 स्टार भी उतना ही मायने देगा जितना शायद से शेवल का 5 स्टार मायने देगा, who's been on the platform for 3 years. तो ये जो सिस्टम है, मैं ये नहीं कह रहा ये क्या सिस्टम है, अगर आप बता सकते हो तो आप बिल्कुल बताओ कि क्या सिस्टम है ये.
सिस्टम इज स्टिल बीइंग बिल्ट, और ये जो सिस्टम है, इट विल हैव मल्टीपल एलिमेंट्स इन विच अ रेटिंग विल गेट कैलकुलेटेड. इट वोंट बी यूनिडायमेंशनल, बिकॉज यूनिडायमेंशनल में क्या होता है, आपकी रेटिंग कैन ऑलवेज गेट प्रेजुडिस्ड, राइट? It will be a mixture of what the customers rate you. It will be a mixture of what the buyer applications are rating you. It will be a mixture of what your seller partners are rating you. It will be a mixture of what logistic partners. So it's a sum total rating which you will get, which will be a little more, a little more closer to the truth. We are looking at blockchain and stuff and trying to figure out how this can be done. We are trying to kind of build those mechanisms. It's not live yet, but that's the direction in which this is going. And again, it will be on the network. So it doesn't matter, you're directly integrated, you're integrated to seller app A, you're integrated to seller app B, you will have that. But iska negative bhi hoga, because if you get a bad rating, then you will have bad rating across. You can't unplug from one ecosystem to another and say, "Meri rating, I can earn afresh." Thought of changing.
But basically उससे क्या होता है, हम सब एक हो जाते हैं. इसका मतलब मतलब मैकडॉनल्ड्स और कबीर चौक रेस्टोरेंट एक है हर प्लेटफॉर्म पे.
Correct. And it is transparency, na Kabir. और कल को think about it, कल को there could be a company which is offering financial products. वो आपकी review rating को देख के it can use that as a matrix to define whether you are eligible for the financial products or not. So I mean, iske applications, once this is built out, is many, and we've not even thought through of all the applications of it. But everyone on the network will earn reviews. Like a buyer app will also earn review. If you are a seller and you get orders from a buyer app and you have bad experience, वहाँ पे buyer cancellation is very high, you as a seller will also review the buyer application. So it's not unidirectional. Every partner in the ecosystem will earn a review and rating. So, and it will be transparently visible on the network. So you can see who has what rating, and you can decide your business logics and practices accordingly.
Sir, I know you guys are doing fantastic things, but honestly, this to me is the most revolutionary thing you would have done. Someone called Smita said, very well thought out. Congratulations to the ONDC developers. It's a great initiative. Looking forward to the future. This is absolutely insane. I would love to just add this one quick point, which is that I know you guys are a bunch of a lot of smart people, but अगर आपको हमारी कभी जरूरत पड़े to understand how fake reviews work, because a lot of us are a lot of people I know have gotten by this system because of fake reviews. Tomorrow, if you need any help from us, me or my community as well, please let us know.
Kabir, we are a community-led initiative, right? And we actively value and actively encourage participation. So more than happy to kind of connect the right teams from ONDC who are working on this and kind of help, your inputs would really help on that one.
Thank you very much. This is truly commendable. Next question, if we have any.
One more question to what you had said, Kabir. One was on the review and rating part, and the other was sorting wala logic. Ke buyer app kaise sorting karega, right? Right. So that was the second question. I would like to address it because it's an important one from a seller perspective. Buyer app is responsible for the UI UX, okay? And the buyer app can define at a category level. And please be very clear, I'm saying at a category. Food, beverage, they can define the logic. It could be a different logic for grocery. It could be different logic for mobility. It could be different logic for electronic. Same with commission structures, everything. It's at a category level. Once you define as a buyer app, what is your logic? And you can make any logic which you think is the right logic as per you, because you're the buyer app. It could be cheapest to the most expensive, closest to the furthest, highest rated to the lowest rated, most reliable to the least reliable, best image catalog or best catalog quality versus worst catalog quality. You can choose your sorting logic. Once you've defined your sorting logic, that sorting logic will transparently be applied to every single search for that category which happens on that platform. So once you have defined a sorting logic and you've declared that as your sorting logic, I cannot keep changing at a search level my sorting logic so that it prejudices the search and goes towards a certain set of sellers only. So if the smallest seller or your local nukkad wala shop is able to meet those criteria, their search result will come right on top.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting, sir. Honestly, I don't think any of us knew this. Shaul, did you know this about
Even I didn't know the review bit. Seriously. And so, like I said, the network is evolving so fast and it is so well thought out. I think genuinely, like you said, hats off to the kind of community that they've built around it, and they're really taking good feedback, right? Which is the starting point of why I see this becoming large, because they're genuinely open to looking at everyone's voice. And he said it's a democracy and they're really behaving like one, right? And that's what matters.
And if anyone in the webinar today and wants to know more, all our documentation are public documents and they are all listed on our ONDC site. So if you go to ondc.org, you can get access to all this documentation. You can read it. We have left certain documentation open. You'll find comments from other people. You can write comments. You can contribute. So, all that is part of the community-led initiative that is ONDC.
Great. I think that's it from my end, at least. If to all the participants, if there are any other questions, of course, the Petpooja team is always there to help. The ondc.org, the big database is available. Like he said, it's transparent, it's public. Please go check out whatever you need to check out. And also, you can follow me on Instagram, KABIRCHUGH, Kabir Chugh, and I'll make sure to keep on updating you guys with the right and verified sources of information. And you can always message me. I will try to help you out as much as possible. I try to answer every question. And yeah, that's it from my end. Of course, Shwani, you can take over from here.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Kabir's Instagram handle is there. We are also sharing ONDC's website in the chat. So everything is there. If not, don't worry, on the webinar group, we are going to send everything. I know it's a very heavy, very interesting and amazing topic, and thank you to each and every one of you, especially Marichi, for taking out time and addressing all the queries, answering each and everything, because there are so many things we have been discussing since 2 days. And still we are learning new things. For example, the ratings, the reviews, the listing, everything around that. Thank you so much, Kabir, for being such a great moderator, giving Hamare restaurant ki awaaz. Because, of course, out of all of us, you are the one who actually run a restaurant. So we know the entire process, you know everything around it, and you did the entire justice as a moderator. You grilled us, we loved it. Thank you so much, Shaival and Jatin from Petpooja's side to clarify that Petpooja restaurant users, where do they go if they want to be on this platform? And of course, the form is being sent to fill it in, where Jatin and his team will be getting in touch with you to help you register. And if there is anything that we have missed out on, please reach out to us. Eat our head, like Kabir says. जो पूछना है पूछो, हम सब आंसर देंगे.
Absolutely. पेटपूजा की जान खा जाओ. उधर बैठे हैं.
And thank you everyone for being a great audience. Abhi bhi lag raha hai, everyone has a lot of questions and we will answer each and everything. So thank you everyone. Thank you to each and every panel member over here. If you have any
Shaival, there is someone who says, please give steak to Kabir in Petpooja. Please, I'm just
Just putting it out there.
just pointing it out there. मैंने screenshot ले लिया.
Kabir, you are, I think, as much as we are a part of Petpooja, I think you're more of it.
I love Petpooja.
Yeah.
You are.
But honestly, I think, you know what, I think in today's webinar, the highlight is honestly Marichi and your team, dude. I mean, I cannot believe what you guys have created. Honestly, before this webinar, I was telling Shaival कि सिर्फ देखते हैं क्या होता है, पता नहीं, मेरे को भी ढंग तरीके से पता नहीं. But honestly, I have so many thoughts. I'm truly blown away by what you guys have created. This will truly rock the ecosystem. Thank you so much for your effort.
Great one. Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Kabir. And thank you for bringing out the restaurateur's perspective. You know, as much as we all claim to know the ecosystem, you're the one who's actually in it, right? So we're just cogs in the wheel, but it's off to you guys, right, restaurateurs, to make this work.
And audience, if you love the webinar, please share your love. It helps us create better webinars, and don't worry, ONDC पे और webinars हम करने वाले हैं. Hopefully now in both the languages, because जैसी चालू होगा, next step आएगा on how it's working in multiple cities.
So Shivani, for your other attendees on the site, on the main homepage, there's a short AV video, about a 7-8 minute video, which talks about the whole ONDC construct. It's already now live on in 5 languages. And we are adding more languages. So please, for people who did not fully understand because of language barriers, please check out the site and check out the video. It will kind of help understand the whole ONDC construct a little better.
Absolutely. We will also share that video with everyone, because PPT, webinar recording, all of this is going to come together. And iske baad log dekhne wale. So with this, we end today's fabulous power-packed webinar on ONDC. It's a step to a bigger picture. And finally, I'm glad that all of us have taken it. And our community was there to witness it with us and ask all the questions. Thank you again, Marichi, Shaival, Jatin, and Kabir, for being great panelists. And thank you to the audience for grilling us. Loved it. Longest webinar like always, but it didn't feel like that.
Thank you.
Everyone,
Bye-bye.
thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
For everyone who's there, and if you haven't signed up, please sign up the form. We will reach out to you personally. And if you're not there on the webinar group, please do join it. Every week we come with amazing webinars about the restaurant industry, on how to help you and how to grow it. Thank you for being a great audience. Please share your love. If you love the webinar, we always love talking to all of you. Thank you so much.